It's Wednesday. So I have not been in my office for a week and a half because I was away for 3 days. Seems like forever ago. And then I launched into being on call for a week, and now I am back and about to launch into a crazy day. But tonight I'm going to be talking about egg freezing with Dr. Josh Hurwitz from Reproductive Medicine Associates. So I thought it was a good opportunity to discuss fertility, but not exactly fertility in a concrete way. It's a little bit in a more Shiva Gofrani lofty way, because there is discussion in our world about when we should address this with women. When should we kind of proactively talk about it? Because we do have a lot of women who say, I didn't know. No one kind of talked about it with me. No one approached it with me. No one said to me, by the way, things might be changing for you and you could be proactive about it. We'll address that more tonight on IG Live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I think we'll address it. He's going to be talking about egg freezing, so of course that'll be addressed. And I'm conflicted, to be honest, because of course, on one hand, you may know, if you've watched me, I'm a massive fan of preemptively giving you knowledge about everything, right? I want to preemptively tell you about HPV and herpes because it's so common, so that before you get it, you don't freak out. I want to preemptively tell you about preeclampsia so that you know what to look for if you're pregnant so you don't freak out. I want to preemptively tell you before your mammogram that it might be abnormal so that if it's abnormal, you don't freak out, right? On all fronts. I want to preemptively tell you that if you have a kid, your kid might be a piece of crap sometimes. So that when your kid's a piece of crap, you're not like, oh, why is my kid a piece of crap? Because they all are sometimes. It's life, right? I like preemptive knowledge. Here's where I cringe about this a little bit. I think that preemptively talking about women having babies is fraught with expectation. And if you listen to what I talked about the other day, expectation also comes with a lot of innuendo and just challenges. And I'm consistently sad that for women, our biology is the most amazingly beautiful thing and the most challenging thing, right? I love that I'm a woman. I really do. Not because I get to have babies, just because I think being a woman is an amazing thing. I never want to be a man. There's nothing about being a man that I love. And by the way, I have, like, other than my breasts, no more female parts. I have no uterus, no ovaries, no tubes. I have like my genitals, but nothing else, right? So, but I still love, I think everything about being a woman and being female and being feminine is just amazing. I think our sensibility, our capabilities are divine. I don't think that we are defined by our ability to actually birth. I think our capabilities of birthing and mothering create an ability for us to do magnanimous things in a global way, but I think that ability is transcended or transcends, is that the word? Regardless of whether or not we actually birth. Meaning, I think women who birth or don't birth still have amazing capabilities. So, do I want every woman to understand and know her ability so that she can make a choice? Whether or not she kind of wants to pursue career, not career, things like that, and not have to worry about each egg's ability to get her pregnant over the next several years when she's getting into that 30 to 40 year span where her eggs are starting to change. I do want her to know so that she has choices, but I also don't want to address it so much that it creates so much pressure that it continues this legend and lore and, you know, the whole overarching theme that we're defined by our ability and need to birth. Does that make sense? So herein lies the rub for me as a woman, a mother, and an OBGYN whose like livelihood depends on birth and babies, right? I always say, like, I'm a woman who births babies and I have 3 babies. And yet I'm the first to say, I don't think everyone needs to have babies. And not because I think it's okay to say like, oh, I'm selfish, I don't want to have babies. I don't think it's selfish to decide not to have babies. I think it's selfless. I think it's like awareness. I think the world does not need more babies. If you are self-aware enough to know that your life is amazing without babies, because it can be, God bless you, you are actually preserving the world. We don't need more population. So this is, again, me babbling, but I think that we should do a better job at addressing physiology and endocrinology and hormones with women when they get into their probably late 20s, early 30s, and discussing ability to get pregnant, hormones changing, egg quality changing, maybe talking to women about like, what are your future maybe plans, right? Because if you think you might want kids, here are some choices. You could actually go freeze your eggs. It is not an insurance policy. I'm pretty sure Dr. Hurwitz is going to talk about that, because even freezing your eggs is not a guarantee it's going to work, but it certainly offers a bit more assurance, more possibilities, more choices. Or do you think you definitely don't want babies? Or are you kind of thinking, and this would be to me the most ideal. Imagine a world like this. I've said this a lot. What if we raised all humans, men, women, non-binary humans, to think this? I would like to grow up to be independent and resilient. This is what I always say about my kids. I'd like them to be independent and resilient. And let's see where life takes me. If life takes me down the road of career, spouse, children, friendship, that's amazing. If it only takes me down the road of career and deep friendship and partner, that's also amazing. Or partner and career, or, I mean, you need to have at least career or something to support you, right? But my point is, what if we didn't set our sight on like, I'm gonna grow up and have babies, or be a parent, or be a doctor, or be a, like, what if we just grew up saying, I'm gonna be independent and resilient, and that might come in so many different paths. And maybe that leads me to be a parent. Maybe that leads me to be a partner. Maybe that leads me to be a president. Maybe that leads me to be a teacher or a doctor or a, who knows what it's going to lead me to be. But I know that whatever I do, I'm going to work hard at it to be independent and resilient. And that's going to lead me to good things. I know this sounds like hokey, but I mean it. I mean it. What it means is really hard work. Like every single thing you do, you're going to work hard at. Then you might end up being a parent, you might not. But either way, you will be independent and resilient. And with independence and resilience, and I will challenge anyone, give me examples of someone you're going to tell me are independent and resilient who is not ultimately happy, healthy. Again, independent and resilient is a really high level, broad term. I thought about this a lot. Those people tend to be really happy. I just spoke to someone who said about her sister, and it filled me with joy. Yeah, I mean, my sister, I think, feels like if she meets someone and has a baby, that's amazing, but her life is so full that if she doesn't meet someone and doesn't have a baby, that's okay too. And I know everyone around her is probably pulling the like, well, she thinks that now, but wait till she gets older. Or like, who's going to take care of her when she gets older? Or what about when everyone else has a baby and she's lonely? Which I'm not sure that any of those things is true. Are our kids taking care of us? Is everyone who's married not lonely? I know plenty of married people who are deeply lonely in their relationship. 50% of people who are married end up divorced. Many of people who are married with children don't see their children, or their children live far away, or they're filled with anxiety over their children. Or you and I both know so many things about being coupled off and having children are worrisome or upsetting. So studies have shown that people who have a career, who have a good partner, and who have exposure to children through family or friends are sometimes objectively happier than the rest of us with kids. I'm not suggesting no one have babies. Again, my livelihood depends on babies. I have babies myself. I'm merely suggesting that this notion that everyone should have babies, and that any person, especially women, who achieve a lot but don't have babies end up being made to feel lesser than, is misguided. Those are my thoughts. And yet with that, I'll be discussing egg freezing tonight, if you feel like coming to listen at 7 p.m. Eastern time on IG Live. And again, I'm a huge fan, like I said, preemptive knowledge and options and choices. Like in a perfect world, wouldn't it be great if egg freezing were totally financially available and not super challenging to do? And everyone could have that option. And let's say it were an insurance policy, which it's not, but let's say it were, it'd be great just to have it. Because what if you did change your mind? But again, what if we could groom our mind to truly be happy with wherever the path leads us, but truly you're leading yourself down the path by being independent and resilient. All right, I'm gonna go do some work. Have a great day.